All right, folks, it's Farrell. I'm here with Ben. And Ben, I hear there's like all kinds of exciting things happening in Ogden. Can you maybe give me a hint toward what some of those things may be?
There's a ton of good things happening in Ogden. We got a lot of people that are seeing Ogden for the first time. There's a lot of big developments happening. There's a lot of people moving their businesses, a lot of people moving downtown. So you see cranes all over the city. We're just kind of going through a new rebirth here in Ogden. And so as a city, we felt that it's time that we kind of rebrand ourselves, because Ogden is a much different place than it was 10, 12, 15 years ago. You know, people, they didn't want to come to Ogden. There was this stereotype that, hey, well, that's the armpit of Utah. But we got to tell a different story now. And so what we're trying to do is come up with a new brand, come up with a new image, and tell people the new story about Ogden.
You know, I've always wondered about that, and I've said this before, and I don't know if people think I'm cheesy or whatever, but I moved to Ogden when I was 16. I moved from Idaho to Ogden. I remember thinking, this is the greatest place ever in the world. And then you hear people talk bad about it, and I'm like, I don't know why everybody talks so bad about Ogden. So it's nice to see some things that are happening, and maybe it'll bring the image around and make things a lot better.
You ask anybody in Ogden what they think of Ogden, they love it here. You're 2 minutes away from the trails. We've been known as was one of the top cities to raise a family, to start a business. When you come to Ogden, you see that, you feel that, and that's our brand, and that's what we want people to know when they think of Ogden.
All right, so I heard that you have actually produced a video for Ogden City, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now.
How do we tell the story of Ogden so it's different than everybody else, so that people remember it, and so they say, Ogden's really cool? Because Ogden's always struggled with that. And so that's what this whole process is. And once you can find that, how do we paint that picture? Then it becomes really cool. And then you have tourism, economic development, the city, Chamber of Commerce, you have everybody, Weber State even, on the same page, pulling in the same direction, because you're so much powerful as one loud voice than a bunch of separate, small, little voices. You know what's so cool about Ogden is the brand was already here. It's really the character of the people and why they live in Ogden. You know, certain words came up like, we are unconditionally welcoming. You know, we're not judgmental. You can be who you are here. It doesn't matter. Being fiercely independent. I mean, it goes back to the early days of Ogden, is that the people have always been fiercely independent. You know, maybe it was notorious in the old days, but now it's notoriously great in terms of the skiing, the recreation. You can be in the middle of downtown Ogden and in 2 minutes be out on the trails in the mountains. Ogden has been going through a renaissance. And in Ogden, you can go through a personal renaissance. You can come here and you can make your own way, and nobody's going to judge you. You know, if you fail once, you know what, let's try it again. And that's really the spirit of Ogden. It's really the lifestyle here that is the core attribute of the brand. The tagline is still untamed. Our trails are untamed. We don't believe in living in a box. You know, we like that kind of that untamed feel, which really makes Ogden cool. So bringing Union Station into that, making 25th Street even better, and then connecting over to the Junction and other areas is really going to bring out the heart and soul of Ogden in its fiercely independent and notoriously awesome ways.